Hello, how are you doing today? So today we'll be going into the world of real estate. Whether you're a seasoned professional, whether you are an investor, a seasoned investor, or you're a newbie, this video will equip you with the knowledge you need to either get started or to keep going and to keep making those extremely profitable investment decisions. Our focus will be on the Nigerian real estate market because, first off, a good number of my viewers are Nigerians, and secondly, the real estate market in Nigeria is really buzzing. It is a great choice, a fantastic investment choice, an extremely profitable one for anyone looking for where to put their money in to grow their money over time. Now you might ask, how come? Why is the real estate market in Nigeria extremely buzzing? Why is it a very fantastic choice? For the growing population and increasing urbanization in Nigeria, there's been so much increase in demand for properties, so much increase in demand for a good life, and real estate is equivalent to really living the good life, because whether you're an investor or you're one person that wants to rent or buy to sell, however your role is in real estate, it helps you live a better life, a more quality life. So before I go into all of that and how it does that, let us start with the first thing first that you need to know when you're considering real estate investing. Our topic for today is real estate investing 101. Different strategies for different goals. So looking at that, first thing first, like I said earlier, is to know yourself and to know your why. Know thyself and know your why. Why is this? We are extremely different in our makeups, in our facial looks, in everything that has to do with us. Even two sisters or two brothers, twins from the same parent, are not the same. And in the very same vein is the way we think about or look at investing, which real estate falls under. So if you know yourself that what you want, what gives you maximum satisfaction is that you just want something long term. Put my money in it now, I get it out in 2 years. Or something that I can just put my money in now and then I build in the next 6 months and then I rent it out. Or you could be the kind of person that you like when something compounds over time. So why rush? You consistently just want to put money in properties over time, and then you're looking at the next 10 years because you've seen how much you can get from it when it really compounds. So this is why you need to know yourself and you know your why, because that will help you know what property options you will be opting for. That will help you know whether or not a particular property that your friend bought or your sister bought or your brother or your husband is looking at buying is something that you also should be looking at buying. So you knowing yourself requires you to sit yourself down and say, what is my view on investing? Do I like long term or would I prefer shorter term? What is my risk tolerance? What are my financial goals? And lastly and most importantly, how much capital do I have? So you sit yourself down and ask yourself these questions. And when you can answer these questions very honestly, you would know what you are going for. These three majorly will help you know yourself and know your why. So if your risk tolerance is you do not like to lose money at all, then you should know that you are not going for a property that is in a very high-end area where you know that at the moment people are not really buying into that place as much. People have bought for a very long time, and at the moment it is not a place where most people are buying presently. I will see if I can explain more in a more advanced video because this is like the basics video. If your risk tolerance is you really don't mind, besides those that do crypto, they have really high risk tolerance. You feel like life is full of risk, right? I put my money in this, it could do so well. you can really go for property options that are quite high-end, and you really don't see a reason to really do so much due diligence because you know that there's money in that place and you just want to put your money in that place. Now, looking at your financial goals, are you looking for capital income? Are you looking for steady appreciation? Or are you looking for a quick flip? Considering these three, it will help you know what property you are going for. If you're looking for a quick flip, then something like land banking is not for you. I will explain land banking as this video progresses. If you're looking for capital appreciation, yes, you might look for high-end properties that are selling for multiple millions of naira because such areas are already very developed. So it means that you can put your money in there now, and then in the next 6 months, even 1 year, you can be getting your money back with a good percentage of return on investment. Or if you're looking for steady income, you should know that you're not buying land. You're putting your money into rental properties, maybe short-let apartments, already built short-let apartments in an area where people are looking for these things to rent. You could buy a short-let in an area where people are not really looking at presently. You need to be doing extra to get steady income from it. But if you are really looking at a very steady income that you might not need to push as much or stress as much, you should consider getting it in an area that is already extremely developed, a hot sell area. So if you know these financial goals, you would know what property you are going for. Third and last, which is your capital. Capital is very, very important. As at 3 years ago or 2 years ago, you could say that you want to get a plot of land in Ekpe, Lagos State for around 1 million naira, thereabout. But at the moment, if you get this further price anywhere, I think you should actually start running because you almost, if not impossible, to get a plot of land, a full plot of land in Ekpe, Lagos for 1 million naira. Meanwhile, if you came 3 years ago, yes, you could. So if presently you now have 1 million naira and you're looking for a plot of land in Ekpe, you should know that you're looking wrong. You're looking at the wrong place and you need to do what? Focus elsewhere. That is why your capital is very, very important. So when you know yourself and you know your why, I've explained your why with these 3 things I've mentioned, that will help you in making a very, very focused choice, a very, very informed choice when you are looking at buying real estate. Now let's talk about strategies. What strategies can you look into? What strategies can you employ when it comes to investing in real estate? First off, you could buy and flip. Buy and flip means that you are just going to get a property that is already in an area where you can easily flip it, not an area where it has to wait for a particular number of years before it becomes easy to flip. But you're buying into a place where you know that you can buy it today, and if you're thinking of flipping it in 6 months, you might not need to stress so much because the area is already a very vantage one. The location is already a very, very vantage one. That is one strategy that you can look at when you're going into real estate. This means that you need to have good cash in hand if you're looking at the strategy of buying and flipping. 2, you can look at rentals. Rentals is that you see a house, a structure selling for a particular amount. Companies sell that. They can either sell an incomplete structure or a complete one, and it's not out on the market, and you buy into it and then you rent it out and you rental income on it over time. That's also a very great strategy. That also requires that you need to have a good amount of money in hand. For rental income, it is long term, but it offers you very steady income. And you also need to factor in that you would be maintaining the place, right? There's maintenance cost on it and other property costings, but it's steady income and it is a long-term income source. You could own it for the rest of your life and even pass it on to your next generation if you do not decide to sell the house or to sell the property. Third, there's something called co-ownership, and there are different platforms that do this. I'll tag them, I'll put them in the comment section. This co-owning, it helps that if you don't have the bulk amount of money, you can team up with different people that have the money and buy into your property. So that can help you that even though you don't have the bulk amount of money to own a high-end property, you can come together with people to buy into it. Platforms like Piggyvest does this. Piggyvest has that investment option. If you want to team up with so many other people to invest into houses, to invest into lands. Another platform like Cordul. Cordul is a company that does this too. With even as low as 20,000 naira, you can team up with other people on Cordul to own a vast piece of land, and you just own a portion of it with your little cash. Same way, you can even own real estate abroad. You can also team up with other people and put money in it and own a fraction of it. This is called fractional real estate, and it's also a strategy that you can employ if you want to start really small, or if you want to do really huge properties but you don't have all the capital to buy into it alone. That is very, very profitable. It might be long term, it might not be long term, depending on the location in which you are buying these properties. Now, the final one is called land banking. Land banking is a strategy in which you get to a place before others get there. I love land banking. I do land banking a lot. And I love it because it helps you really grow from small to really big. And it also helps that you don't need to have so much cash put into a property, but you are just very smart enough to know that this area, people will be going there in the next 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, or even longer, depending. People will be going here because you have seen the development going on in that area at the moment. So this will help you make an informed decision to go and buy into it before people get there. Just like the present day Lekki. There are those that bought lands in Lekki 20 years ago, 30 years ago, before it became this Lekki that we see today. And presently, you should know how much those two properties are worth at the moment. While there are those that are buying property in Lekki right now, and they are spending 70 million, 80 million, 100 million, even more than that. Banana Island, I was seeing a house in Banana Island last week for rent, and we're seeing 70 million naira for rent. Meanwhile, there are those that will have bought lands in Banana Island decades ago, and it could have been sold for thousands or even little millions. So that's what land banking does. It helps you that you key into something early, smaller amounts, and then it compounds over time. Like, you're looking at land banking as a strategy. You're not supposed to buy one and rest. The way you can really build something very tangible and highly profitable with land banking is that you keep buying these properties in these areas that you know people will definitely go into. I'll give you an example of these areas. In Ibadan, or your state, Ibadan, Nigeria, there's a place called Monia. And presently, Monia has become the hub for so many developments, governmental and even non-governmental. Monia has a train station. Monia is having the dry port. We also have a business district coming up in Monia. We have different estates, over 20 estates, if not more, on the Monia axis. So looking at this station, you see that this is like a hub for development. And if you want to buy a property as an investor, somebody looking at gaining profitably from that venture, you should be looking at this area in Ibadan or your state, Nigeria. Looking at Lagos, one place that you can still get for less, and a lot is happening there already, is the Ekpe axis. Ekpe in Lagos, a lot. There are so many things leading to that axis, around that axis, that if you're looking for a place where you may not need to spend 40-50 million on a property in Lagos at the moment, you should be looking towards Ekpe. I said it's like I said it like a few minutes ago that if you had 1 million naira in Ekpe like 3 years ago, you could get a plot of land, but right now it is not the case anymore. So it keeps that it has been adding up over time, appreciating over time. And if you are listening to me in 2024 and you're looking to buy Ekpe, I'll tell you that it's still a very good time to get properties for a plot below 10 million naira in a very fantastic area in Ekpe. But that will change very, very soon. These 4 strategies will really help you in your real estate investing journey. So first off, you know yourself, and then after knowing yourself, then you move on to the strategies that will help you make the most profit from them. Next thing is something I will call the 3 cores. The 3 cores, CORES. The 3 very important things you need to consider next after you've figured out which of the strategies you want to use. Also know that you can have a mix of strategies. It could be a very, very likely a vast investor, someone that just wants to try different things. You could have properties that you can sell right now and get money from it. You could have properties that you want to keep for a longer time. You could have properties that you want to co-own with other people, whether on the shores of Nigeria or outside the shores of Nigeria. Or you could also have properties that you want to buy and rent out. So you could just do a mix of everything. That's what the real estate market in Nigeria is extremely profitable. In fact, real estate on its own, it's a huge venture that can take you from a nearly millionaire to a centimillionaire. I mean, it can really make you wealthy, depending on which strategy you employ and by knowing your who. All right. So 3 cores that you need to consider. First off, location. Second off, due diligence. And thirdly, work with a team. Or let me say, team up with a seasoned realtor or somebody who you know that talks about real estate and you learn so much when person talks about real estate. Always have that person in mind. Let me have this little tiny one. The 4th one, I will advise that you buy from a company. I would advise that you buy from a company. So first one, I said location. Location is very key when it comes to buying real estate, whether in Nigeria or anywhere else. Because a land that will do so figure in a place where nothing is happening, a place where people are actually moving from the rural to the urban, that property will not do as much as a place where people are moving into. I hope you understand what I'm saying. A place where people are migrating from a rural area, people are migrating from steadily to the urban area. Buying a property there will not do as good as a place where people are moving into from another area. So if you're looking at you being an investor, not just you buying land, you want to really invest. Because investing means that you are looking to get something very profitable from it, right? You need to look at location. You don't just buy anywhere. Because every cover that you spend should be making you naira back. I mean, everything that you put in it should be making you something very tangible back. So location is very key. Location with development happening around there, extremely key. Do not trade that for anything. 2, due diligence. So there's an issue in Nigeria of a lot of demolition happening in certain areas. And as much as I don't really like to delve into this so much because there's a lot of, controversy around that, but I just really want you to know that due diligence is very important, because even those that do it still fall into issues. So due diligence is really, really important. Please do your due diligence as much as you can. Third is that you work with a team. You can have your own personal lawyer, and you also work with a realtor that knows what they are doing. Not just a realtor that wants to sell you a land and just walk away. Work with somebody that is seasoned enough to understand the market and to advise you accordingly on where to buy or where to look to buy in a couple of months or a couple of years. Have a team. It's extremely important to help you a whole lot on your real estate investment journey. And then the teeny bitty one that I added to the end of it is buying from a company. A company protects you. In Nigeria, alright, I'm talking about Nigeria now. A company protects you because you're buying a land within an estate. So all the unmoneyless stories that you hear, you will not have an issue with it when you buy from a reliable company. Very important. Buy from a company, a reliable one. And I think that will be all on real estate investing 101. Final words. Real estate investing in Nigeria is a very powerful tool for the wealthy and even the about to be wealthy, and even the average. It's a very, very powerful tool. And in as much as you can make so much from it, if you don't do it right, you might just be like every regular person that did not buy land, but somehow put money into something else that did so good for them. My point is, be an investor and not just a land buyer. And if you look at these tips I've given to you and you sit down with them, they will really help you make real estate a profitable venture for you, a profitable tool that can help you grow wealth over time. So with this information in hand, please go on and navigate the world of real estate in Nigeria and achieve your financial dreams. Do not forget to like, to subscribe, to share, and to ask me whatever questions that you have in the comment section. I remain a soul, sir, and I will see you next week.